The biggest currency on this planet right now is attention. Forget crypto, forget real estate, forget whatever your dad told you to invest in. In 2026, the single most valuable thing you have for any business is attention on social media, and I'm going to show you exactly how to get it. Now, this channel is for OFM agency owners, right? So I'm going to break this down in the OnlyFans context, but the stuff I'm about to tell you, you could run in a bakery, a car dealership, or a SaaS company. I don't care. These principles apply to literally any business that needs eyeballs. Here's the thing that drives me insane. I talk to agency owners every single day, and you know what they're worried about? They're worried about which proxy to use to create an Instagram account, which VPN they should have running, should they post from an anti-detect browser, from their phone, or from their grandma's iPad. And I'm sitting there thinking none of that matters, like at all. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but all the gurus on YouTube selling their overpriced coaching, they want you to believe that posting on Instagram is some kind of rocket science, right? That you need 17 different tools and a degree in computer engineering just to upload a reel. It's nonsense. Just post it. Seriously. Just post the content, because the only thing that actually determines whether your content gets views is the content itself. That's it. Good content structured the right way with the principles I'm about to show you today. That's going to fix 90% of your problems. I guarantee it. Think about it like a singer. You're a singer about to perform on stage, and you're backstage stressing about your outfit. Should I wear the Gucci tracksuit, the designer shoes? Should I get the hair done? Cool. You walk on stage looking like $1,000,000, but you can't sing. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody's staying. Nobody's gonna listen to you. But imagine someone walks on stage in sweatpants and flip-flops, but they sound like Mariah Carey. The crowd goes fucking wild. They're gonna buy the album. They're gonna follow them on IG. They're gonna buy the merch, because the performance is what matters, not the packaging of the performer. And it's the same thing with your content. If your videos are structured in a way that psychologically makes people want to keep watching, they're going to rewatch and they're going to engage. It doesn't matter what browser you post it from. It doesn't matter how I post this video. If you are entertained right now and you're still watching, I did something right. Whether it was my editing, my background, my cool shirt, or my ugly haircut, whatever it was, it worked. Didn't matter where I posted it from. Let me break the biggest misconception in this entire space, and I need you to really hear this, because most agencies get this completely backwards. Entertainment is 100 times more important than sexuality. 100 times. Look at what the average agency posts on Instagram. What is it? It's the model like twerking. It's the model in the bikini doing some suggestive dance. The caption says something like, "Would you date me?" or "Oh, I'm so lonely tonight." It's all sexual content, and it barely gets any views. And the creators who do get views with sexual content, they were already famous. They already had 5 million followers. Yeah, of course their stuff gets seen. But for a creator you're building from scratch, sexual content is a dead end. It doesn't work. Sexuality is not competitive on social media. And I'll tell you exactly why. Think about the average OnlyFans subscriber. This guy's at work. His boss is yelling at him. He gets home. His wife's in his ear shouting about the furniture that needs rebuilding. The kids need to go to soccer practice. This guy's 50 open bills, and he has maybe like 1 or 1.5 hours a day. Late at night, when the ugly wife is sleeping, she's in bed, when he's actually in the mood for that kind of content. 1 or 2 hours. That's your window of sexual content. He doesn't want to get hard if he's on a bus to work. Now ask yourself, how many hours a day does this same guy want to be entertained? All of it. Every single hour. When he's commuting to work, he's like, okay, let me just get off of this thoughts a little bit. When he's on break, when he's sitting on the toilet, when he's on the way to IKEA, he's always gonna want to be entertained. So you are basically choosing between a 1 to 90-minute window where your sexual content might be relevant to most viewers versus 24 hours where your entertaining content is always welcome. The math is pretty obvious. And here's the second thing that nobody talks about. Sexuality is the least competitive angle you could possibly choose. Every single girl on IG already posts bikini videos. Even girls without OF do it, because they're all hoes. Instagram is full of hoes. Alright, you can't compete with billions of hoes. And there's billions of hours of free, explicit content on the internet. Billions. If this guy decides he wants to watch that stuff, he opens his browser and sees it all for free in way better quality in like 10 seconds. So your creator doing another twerking video, she's attempt number 52 on his feed that day. He's supposed to suddenly stop and subscribe to her because of the 50-second twerking video. Come on, it doesn't work like that. So what you want to do instead, and this is where agencies really get separated between 10K a month and 100K a month plus, is post content where the primary purpose is entertainment. It's funny, it's controversial, it's relatable. Something that makes people stop and actually engage. And then the fact that the creator just happens to be attractive, that's a bonus. That's the side product. And I like to use my own channel as an example here. You're watching this video right now because I assume it's actually helpful, right? I'm giving you real information. The fact that you desperately want to sleep with me is probably just a side product, but you watch because there's value. So now you understand that entertainment beats sexuality every single time. But okay, just being entertaining isn't enough either. You can't just throw a joke on Instagram and expect it to pop off. There's a very specific structure that your short form content needs. The way I call it in my own agency is the marketing bridge. We use it for everything our agency does and what we teach to every single person I work with. And it has basically 3 components. First one is the hook of the video. The hook is the first 1 or 3 seconds of your video, and it is the most important part, period. Because here's what you're up against. Your viewer has been scrolling for hours. Their brain is deep fried. They give every new video maybe half a second before they decide to keep scrolling. Half a second. And if your video doesn't grab them in that short time window, it's over. They're gone. The greatest content in the history of Instagram ever, right? But if it happens after the first second, it wouldn't matter because nobody saw it. People need to be able to understand, okay, something is about to happen, right? So how do you actually hook someone? You need what I call a pattern interrupt, something that breaks the monogamy of their scrolling. And there's a few ways to do it. You can do it visually, right? If every video on someone's feed is shot straight in front of a white wall and your video starts with a weird camera angle from the side, looking down at the creator or picking the camera up from the ground, that's different. People notice, hey, what's going on here? What the fuck's up with her? And they stop scrolling and they want to see why. You can also do this with an unexpected action, right? The creator walks into the frame and immediately spills something or drops something or bumps into a wall. Your brain just goes, wait, watch this happen. And no, you're watching. That's not rocket science. Just do something different. You can even do it with a text and audio, right? We do something called hook personalization. So instead of a generic caption in the video like 2 reasons to marry me, you make it specific. For example, 2 reasons to marry a crazy 5-foot brunette from Louisiana. Now, it's personal, it's specific, it's a scroll stopper because it feels real. Not like the other 500 generic dating captions. I want to know why to date a 5'2" brunette from Louisiana. I don't know the reason. I want to find that out. You've got them to stop scrolling, which is fine. And there's a million other ways to do it. But they still got their finger hovering over that screen. They're about to rage quit the video. So 1 boring second and they're gone. It's like a first date, right? You're on a date with a chick. If you just start scrolling on your phone for 10 minutes, okay, she's going to just fucking leave. So every single second of your video has to earn its place. Every second. And yes, that is extreme. But people's brains on these platforms are completely deep fried from dopamine. They have no attention span. The platforms are literally designed to give users a dopamine hit with every single video to create this addictive scrolling behavior. So if your video has even 2 seconds of dead time where nothing really happens, they're out, they're gone, and you lost the viewer and the video is not going to go viral. In our agency, when we review content, we go through every single video second by second. Does something happen here? Is this interesting? Could this be cut out? Would you watch this if you saw it on your feed? And we use what we call the dynamic story sheet approach, right? Instead of a flat progression like cute or sexy, which is predictable and boring, you want contrast. Cute, then sexy, then cute again, then something unexpected, then back to cute. Think of it like a story arc, right? You're keeping people guessing. You're building like a narrative with ups and downs. And the next thing, and this is super, super underrated. Let's say you hooked the people and you kept them watching, right? You already followed the first 2 steps. But now you need to reward their attention because if you don't, they feel like it wasn't worth it to watch. And they won't watch your next content. They're definitely not going to check out your profile. Now, think about it as watching a movie, right? You're 2 hours in, the story's been incredible, twists, turns, sex scenes, and you're fully fucking invested. And then the ending is garbage. The plot twist doesn't make sense, nothing gets resolved, and you walk away pissed. You invested 2 hours and the ending just sucks. You tell your friends the ending sucked, even though 95% of the movie was objectively great, but you're never gonna watch it again, and you're definitely not gonna buy the second part of that movie. So it's the same thing with short form content. If the video just ends with no payoff, people feel ripped off subconsciously. They won't like, they won't comment, and next time they see your creator on the feed, they'll tell her to piss off. They're not gonna watch anymore. The easiest fix for that is just put in a reward in the last second or 2. Give them something. The creator turns around and shows her outfit from the back. She does a cute smile. Her dog runs into the frame. She writes something funny on a mirror. Whatever it is, give people a reason to feel like watching was worth it. When you nail all three of these, hook, retain, reward, your content enters a completely different league. Because here's what happens algorithmically, right? People watch the full video. Some people even rewatch it. They watch it a couple of times because they couldn't catch everything. So much stuff happened. That drives your watch time through the roof. And watch time is the number one factor every single platform cares about. Higher watch time means the algorithm shows it to more people. More people means more engagement. More engagement means more distribution. It's a flywheel. It's an upward spiral once you get picked up by the algorithm. All right, so to quickly summarize everything I've told you so far, right? The hook, the retention, the reward, that's the foundation. But in our agency, we go way deeper than that because, and here's the thing, the market is so saturated now that just having good structure isn't enough anymore. You need to be obsessive about quality. As much as you don't want to hear that because you would rather just post random videos and make a bunch of money, this is not how marketing works. Do dating apps, do Reddit if you don't like to do this. This is where the money is. And in our agency, we have a checklist, 7 to 8 points that every single video has to pass before it gets posted. Every video. And I'll be honest with you, it's annoying, right? I have videos come across my desk that are like 90% perfect. And part of me wants to just post them. But that gap between 90% and 100%, that's the gap between making 30K a month and making 200K a month. I've seen it too many times. Let me walk you through what we check. Does the video have a strong hook? Is the first second genuinely interesting enough to stop a scroll? And I don't mean interesting to you because you're biased, but would a random stranger who's been scrolling for hours stop for this? You have to check that. Does every single second retain the attention? Go through it frame by frame. Is there any dead time? Any moment where nothing happens and you would probably scroll away? Cut it out. Is there a clear reward at the end? Did they get something for watching? Does this video have 10 million view potential? Now, this one's a bit harder to quantify, all right? It's a gut feeling, honestly, but if you need to watch your own content and seriously ask yourself, could this get 10 million views? And most of the time, the answer is no, maybe 100K, that's your problem. You're settling for good enough when you should be focusing for the highest fans. Next up, does the video look aesthetically pleasing? Good lighting, interesting background, a clean, well-fitted outfit, attractive, not just hot, but attractive. A lot of agencies overlook this because they think if the creator is hot, that's enough. But wearing a tiny bikini and looking cheap like a hooker is not the same as looking genuinely attractive. A well-fitted dress where you can see the curves, or even a pajama where the creator's curves are highlighted. That hits way harder than someone who just looks like they're trying too hard. Presentation matters, right? And that's what we call the Schnitzel principle for all the German brothers right now. Because for all of the German enjoyers here, right? A good schnitzel isn't great because of the meat inside. It's always the same meat. It's great because of the breading. Because let me tell you this, two creators with the same level of attractiveness, literally carbon copies of each other, will have completely different results based on how their content is packaged, right? One can make 5K, one can make 500K just by the presentation. And the last thing, does the content drive engagement? Will people comment? Will they share it with a friend? Will they save it? Because here's something most agencies don't understand. A qualitative comment, like someone writing a full sentence that drives way more algorithmic value than someone dropping a fire emoji in the comments, the algorithm sees that time investment and goes, right, this content is getting real attention. Comments drive watch time too because the person typing has to stay on the video longer and the people reading the comments also stay longer. So your content needs to make people want to actually engage, not just passively like scroll past. We also use what we call the traffic light system for our team internally. So what that means is every video gets reviewed with a red, yellow, or green rating across multiple criteria, right? Pattern alignment, engagement potential, authenticity, aesthetic quality. And we do this in daily review calls going through every video from the previous day. And it takes about 5 to 10 minutes per video. But these 5 seconds per video are what took us from 25 subscribers a week to 60 to 120 on certain creators. Now, I want to give you something extra that most people in this space have never heard of. Because getting views is one thing, but getting the right kind of engagement is what actually converts viewers into subs. You like 2 million views don't put money in the bank, but 500 subscribers put money in the bank. We've identified 10 different engagement methods that we rotate through our creators, and I'm going to give you the highlights. Humor is the most powerful one. If your creator can make someone laugh, that person is going to comment, share it with their friends, follow the account, and humor works at every time of the day, with every demographic. It's universal. The key is adapting the humor to your creator's actual personality, right? You can't force someone who's naturally quiet to just do slapstick comedy, it won't work. It won't feel real. People know it's gonna be fake. Number 2 is relatability, right? You show a situation that people experience in their daily life. Getting ready in 5 minutes when your family shows up early. Like, okay, everyone's been there. And when people relate to something, they tag their friends, they comment their own experience. That's all high quality engagement, right? Then you've got scenario creation. So outfits I'd wear if I was your girlfriend. Now, you've got guys in the comments imagining themselves in a scenario. They're mentally invested, they're engaging. If you do it right, controversy is incredibly powerful. You say something that splits your audience, right? And suddenly your comments fucking explode. Like, a real man doesn't use Apple, he uses an Android. Now everyone's gonna crash out. Like, what the fuck? No, this is actually not true. You're just rage baiting people. But you have to be smart about it, right? Too much controversy damages the brand. People report your videos. So don't just deny certain historic events and go too far. You just want to make a bit of fun about it and get people to engage. Now, the actual move is to combine multiple methods in a single video. So humor plus relatability plus a question at the end, asking people to comment their experience. That's 3 engagement drivers in one piece of content. You want to stack them. So let me pull all of this together for you. Stop worrying about VPNs and proxies and which browser to post from. That stuff is pointless. The only thing that matters is the content. Entertainment beats sexuality every single time. You have a 2-hour window with sexual content versus 24 hours with entertainment. So choose wisely. Structure every video with the marketing bridge, hook in the first second, retain attention through every single second, and reward them at the end for watching. Run every video through your daily checklist before it gets posted. Be obsessive about the details. That's what separates agencies from doing okay from agencies doing absolutely incredible. And last but not least, stack your engagement methods. Humor, relatability, scenarios, controversy. The more reasons people have to comment and to share, the more the algorithm works in your favor. Now, this stuff isn't theory, right? I've been doing this for over 6 years across my own agency, and the results speak for themselves. But if you don't want to take my word for it, come join our free Telegram community. 13,000 agency owners in there sharing what's working, getting feedback on their content, helping each other. Now, you can just join via the link in the description. It's literally 2 clicks. Come in, say what's up, and I'll see you in there. Talk to you in the next video. Have a good day.